The tennis world was still buzzing. Alex Eala's Cinderella run had captivated millions. The Filipina sensation had just won her first WTA title in Washington, climbed to a career-high world number 20, and packed stadiums with passionate fans waving Philippine flags. She was on a 7-match winning streak. She seemed unstoppable. Then came Belinda Bencic, a 6-4, 6-0 demolition in just 73 minutes. The streak was over. The dream had ended, and everyone was left wondering, what happened? The answer came from an unexpected source. Maria Sharapova, the 5-time Grand Slam champion, the childhood idol of Alex Eala herself, had spotted something. A hidden statistic that explained everything. A pattern that Bencic herself hadn't even realized until after the match. What did Sharapova see that everyone else missed? What was the secret behind Bencic's stunning victory? Welcome to RallyNova. Let's begin. The scene was Toronto, the National Bank Open, a WTA 1000 tournament that had become the stage for Alex Eala's latest triumph. The Filipina star had arrived on a high, 7 consecutive wins, a historic Washington title, and a fan base that had transformed SoBi Stadium into a sea of Philippine flags. But Belinda Bencic had other plans. The Swiss veteran, a former world number 4 and Olympic gold medalist, had won the Canadian Open 11 years earlier as a teenager. She knew these courts. She knew how to win, and she knew exactly how to stop the Eala Express. From the opening games, Bencic attacked. She stood close to the baseline, taking Eala's serves early and unleashing powerful ground strokes that kept the Filipina on the defensive. Eala fought back, breaking Bencic's serve twice in the first set, and at 4-4, it looked like the match was heading for a classic finish. Then came the turning point. With Eala serving at 4-4, Bencic had a breakpoint. Eala hit a powerful serve that Bencic barely returned, giving Eala an open court to attack. But in a moment of hesitation, Eala hit her forehand back toward Bencic instead of into the open space. The Swiss veteran executed a perfect lob, breaking Eala's serve and taking control of the match. From that moment, the match changed. Bencic won the first set 6-4, then completely dominated the second set, winning 6 games in a row for a 6-0 bagel. Eala's movement, which had been her weapon throughout the tournament, was compromised. Her serve was off. Her shots lacked precision. The final statistics told a brutal story. Bencic won 57 points to Eala's 36. She landed 64.4 of her first serves and won 72.4 of those points, while Eala managed only 46.4 of her first serve points. It was a one-sided contest that left fans stunned and analysts searching for answers. But the answer, it turned out, was hiding in plain sight. Maria Sharapova has been watching Alex Eala closely. The Russian legend, a 5-time Grand Slam champion, is one of Eala's childhood idols. Eala has openly expressed her desire to have faced Sharapova on court, calling her one of the greatest players in tennis history. Now, Sharapova had noticed something else, something that explained Bencic's dominant performance. After the match, Bencic herself revealed a hidden statistic that surprised even her. She had now won 10 consecutive matches against left-handed opponents, dating back to 2024. This wasn't just a coincidence. This was a pattern. I don't think that can be a coincidence, Bencic said. It's weird for me as well, because I really hate playing lefties and it's just not comfortable. Like the entire match you're uncomfortable. But maybe I feel like because I have good timing, I'm kind of able to switch. I think that's the only thing I can think of because I really don't like playing them. Sharapova, who had faced her own share of left-handed opponents during her career, understood the significance of this statistic. Playing against a left-hander is fundamentally different. The spin is reversed. The angles are unfamiliar. The patterns of play are disrupted. But Bencic had cracked the code. She had developed a system for neutralizing the left-handed advantage. She took the ball early, hit flat and deep, and never allowed her left-handed opponents to dictate play. Against Eala, she executed that system to perfection. Eala, a proud left-hander who had used her lefty advantage to defeat some of the best players in the world, suddenly found herself facing an opponent who had no fear of her left-handedness. Bencic knew exactly what to expect. She had studied it. She had mastered it. and she had executed it flawlessly. Sharapova's insight, combined with Bencic's own revelation, exposed the hidden factor behind the Swiss veteran's dominance: experience, tactical intelligence, and an almost supernatural ability to handle the one thing that makes left-handers so dangerous. To understand Bencic's achievement, we need to understand why left-handed players are so difficult to face in tennis. Left-handers are rare in tennis. Only about 10 to 15 of professional players are left-handed. This rarity gives them a natural advantage. Opponents are less familiar with their patterns, their spins, and their angles. The ball behaves differently when it comes off a left-handed racket. The serve swings away from the backhand instead of into it. The forehand cross-court shot becomes a weapon that can open up the court in unexpected ways. Alex Eala has used her left-handedness to devastating effect throughout her rise. As tennis coach Mamiet, who was once Maria Sharapova's hitting partner, noted, she's left-handed and being a lefty has its advantages with the movement of the ball. She has beaten Iga Swiatek, Jessica Pegula, and Naomi Osaka, all of whom struggled to adapt to her lefty game. But Belinda Bencic had figured it out. She had lost to left-handers earlier in her career, and she had learned from those defeats. By the time she faced Eala, she had won 10 consecutive matches against lefties. She knew exactly how to handle the spins, the angles, and the patterns. I hate to play against lefties, so I'm surprised by this statistic, Bencic admitted. Yet despite her personal discomfort, she had developed a tactical system that worked. She stood closer to the baseline, took the ball early, and dictated play before her left-handed opponents could establish their rhythm. Against Eala, this system was devastating. Bencic attacked Eala's serve relentlessly, breaking her 6 times in the match. She targeted Eala's backhand, neutralized her forehand, and never let her settle. The Filipina's left-handed advantage, which had been her secret weapon throughout her career, had been neutralized. Sharapova, who had faced some of the best left-handed players in tennis history, recognized the brilliance of Bencic's performance. The Swiss veteran hadn't just won a tennis match. She had executed a tactical masterclass that exposed the vulnerabilities of even the most talented left-handers. The match statistics paint a clear picture of Bencic's dominance and the tactical factors that Sharapova identified. Bencic won 61.3 of the total points in the match, taking 57 of the 93 points played. Eala managed just 36 points. The service statistics were even more telling. Bencic landed 64.4 of her first serves and won 72.4 of those points. Eala won only 46.4 of her first serve points and just 35 of her second serve points. On return, the Swiss star was equally dominant. She won 58.3 of her return points, compared to Eala's 35.6. She converted 3 of her 6 breakpoint opportunities in the first set and completely overwhelmed Eala in the second set. The difference was most stark in the second set. Bencic won 76.5 of her service points and 75 of her return points. Eala was bageled, her first straight sets loss since the Bad Homburg Open earlier in the season. But the most telling statistic was the one that Sharapova noticed: Bencic's 10-0 record against left-handed opponents since 2024. This wasn't luck. This was the result of careful study, tactical adjustments, and a deep understanding of how to neutralize the left-handed advantage. Bencic herself seemed surprised by the statistic. "I don't think that can be a coincidence," she said. She acknowledged the discomfort of facing left-handers, but she also recognized that her ability to adjust was a strength. "She played really well. She put me in some really tough situations," Eala said after the match. It was a gracious admission from a player who had just been beaten by a better opponent on the day. The loss to Bencic was a bitter pill for Alex Eala, but it also provided a valuable lesson. Eala's left-handedness has been her greatest weapon, but it can also become a vulnerability if opponents figure out how to neutralize it. Bencic had done exactly that. She had studied Eala's game, exploited her weaknesses, and executed a tactical plan that left the Filipina with no answers. For Eala, the key to future success lies in developing her game beyond her left-handed advantage. She must improve her serve, which was a major factor in her defeat. She must add more variety to her game. and she must learn to adjust when opponents neutralize her lefty weapons. The fatigue from consecutive matches and the ankle injury she sustained in the previous round appeared to have caught up with Eala, as the defeat snapped her 7-match winning streak. Bencic herself acknowledged that her match against Taylor Townsend, a left-handed American, in the previous round helped prepare her for Eala. "I'm also glad that I played a lefty in the round before," Bencic said. She had practiced against a lefty just days before facing the Filipina star. "I'm looking back at these past 2 weeks as a really big positive," Eala said after the match. "I think I played really well. I've gotten through so many obstacles." Her optimism is well-founded. The run to the Canadian Open 4th round, following her breakthrough title in Washington, has been the best stretch of her career. Now, Eala heads to Cincinnati for another WTA 1000 tournament, followed by the U.S. Open. She will have a chance to recover, to learn from the Bencic defeat, and to continue her remarkable rise. The hidden statistic that Sharapova identified is a reminder. In tennis, the margins between victory and defeat are often microscopic. Bencic had found an edge, and she had used it brilliantly. Eala, still learning and growing, must now find ways to counter such tactics.